Brothers. There's a lot of changes going on, including the change the titles. But guess what? Tonight on the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast, we will unveil some new championships. After this,
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!
Yes, sir. Brothers, we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast, brought to you by the Wrestling Wrealm. We're our own sponsor.
Hey,
yeah,
good brothers.
We definitely pay for this.
Man, who you lying? Who you telling? Good brothers. All that being said, what's cracking, man? It's another day, it's another dollar. Here we are again, man. We blessed to be back. What's the word?
Oh man, I'm good. It's good Wednesday. It's been a long day, but guess what? I'm here with my brothers, and that right there is a blessing. So I'm ready to get this party started.
And Brother Hugh, when the brothers get together, you know what that means?
Shenanigans.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir. What's going on now, y'all?
Nothing, man. Chilling, man. Like I said, as Brian H definitely said, man, I'm happy to be back on here with the brothers. You know what I mean? This is kind of what we do, man. We get a chance each week to come in and kind of stay current with everything going on in the world of professional wrestling. And today is no different, but we've got a few things to get to, but also we are going to finally unveil these new championships that everybody's talking about. Like it's one of those things where you got to get to it first. And today on the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast, we will unveil the newest and latest championships in the world of professional wrestling. You guys excited about that?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Hey, look who's in the building. Stephen Michael.
Leave my shades alone, baby. I'm just tripping over here right now,
Stephen Michael, those wrestling girls. You know how we do. The family is here.
We gotta catch everybody early. We gotta make these announcements quickly. Like I know everybody's here. Everybody's starting to fill into the chat, but we're definitely going to get started. But I guess since everybody's okay, I guess we can go ahead and get started. Am I good to go, brothers? Are we ready to rock and roll?
The real Dwayne Allen, take it away.
Here you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Listen, I'd love to take it away, but first we have to take care of logistics.
Hold up.
So wait for it.
45, Brandon.
Welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, you can catch our flagship show, The Wrestling Wrealm, and other shows such as Wrestling for the Culture, Break It Down, Brian H., and other content anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm, where myself, the real Dwayne Allen, Brian H. Waters, and Brother Hugh explore many topics and try to educate and give the fans a different perspective on many different aspects in the world of pro wrestling. I am your host, the realness, the real Dwayne Allen. He is your host, Brian H. Waters. He is your host, Brother Hugh, aka Has the Third, H to the A to the S, T to the H to the E, 3 to the R to the D. Yes, we do that every week. You can follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Wrestling Wrealm 2Ws. Like and subscribe and engage in the conversation with us. And also, you can stream all of our audio content on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. You can watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Wrealm. If you want to support us and be a part of the brand, you can shop everything at WrestlingWrealm.com, where we have hoodies, we have T-shirts, we have mugs. Our proud wrestling fan is an up-and-coming T-shirt design that's going to take over the world. We are going to unveil new products very, very soon, just in time for the fall and the winter season. Also, subscribe to our Patreon channel for all exclusive content, including Brian H's thoughts. That was perfect. That was perfect timing. Brian H's thoughts at patreon.com/the wrestling_realm. Excuse me.
And I got a new one on deck coming out tomorrow.
Okay,
and it'll make sense after the show.
Oh, see, look, I can't wait. So if you want that exclusive content from Brian H, and eventually at some point in time, I do plan to start my own My only exclusive Patreon show
One
known as Realness Reacts. Trust me, it'll be worth
day.
it. But I think that's all the announcements. Is that everything, brothers? I think so.
Yep.
Let me put the thing back up there. That's everything. Hold on. I got to show this. We just showed this just because. So everybody see this. So you can see all our hard work.
Hard on the graphics.
See that?
So
Yes,
hard
sir. Yes,
on
sir.
the graphics.
So when you go to our content, you see what we do. You see we're not bluffing. Like we actually take this thing very seriously. But gentlemen, we've got some business to get to today. So first of all, let's do some catching up. You know, there's no major announcements right now outside of unveiling of these new championships that people can't wait to see. But how have you brothers been feeling? Now, first and foremost, I need to ask you, what have you brothers been watching this week outside of the basic regular Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW of wrestling? I'm going to tell you why in a minute, because Saturday was like a wrestling explosion for me. But first of all, what you guys been getting to this week? Talk to your boy.
Oh man, go ahead.
You good?
Go ahead, because I'm trying to find it.
All right, I've been watching ROH Classics.
Yes,
specifically Kevin Owens, aka Kevin Steen. Watched him versus Davey Richards for the title.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
That was in Canada. That was a great match. Then the Sami Zayn ladder match.
Ladder Wars. Yep.
Oh my gosh, those two they tore it down. My fault. El Generico or Generico, not Sami Zayn. They tore it down. And then Shinsuke versus Kevin Steen. When Shinsuke hit him with the double Kinshasa.
Yes, sir. Was that at Global Wars or War? I think it was War of the Worlds in 2014.
War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds. 16?
Was it 14, I think.
No, it was 14. It was 14.
Because almost Owens was out of there by 15, I believe.
Right. It was 14. So that's what I've been watching.
No, that sounds like fun. Brian H, how about you? You ready to boogie? What'd you get into this week?
So I actually went different. I watched some Big Lucha. This match between Flamita and Bandito that took place at Big Lucha on September 23rd. Shout out to my colleague Phil Snyder. He actually had to go to Mexico for one of his other many jobs, and he said like he was literally getting off the plane, went right to the Big Lucha show. So he mentioned that in the weekly top 3 match article, and that was the honorable mention. So I was like, all right, I know Bandito was getting ready to challenge for the World Ring of Honor, or I guess we call it the Ring of Jericho Championship. So I wanted to watch that match, and boy, did they tear out the house. I mean, you know how it is with Mexican wrestling, just to sit there and just really appreciate the culture of it. And, it was a phenomenal match. I definitely encourage people to go check it out.
No, Doc, trust me, just along those same lines, man. Let me tell you something. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You know that the fall is like is a big wrestling season for me. Like it's nothing like just cozying up and amongst the warmth and just putting on some good old wrestling. Saturday, I got into so Friday, I discovered like full matches on Ring of Honor Wrestling on their YouTube channel, and I was like, wait a minute, I've been looking for these. And then I watched this. There was a channel called Indie Wrestling Classics that literally got flagged like a day or two ago from third party stuff. And when I say it was, bro, when it was a ton of wrestling stuff, I'm talking New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor stuff everywhere. I was like, man, I've been looking for this. I was able to catch up on a few matches that I was trying to find for a long time without having to go and buy Ring of Honor DVDs. So like I went back and I watched the match between Jay Lethal and Roderick Strong. And see, Brandon guy's always been a Kevin Steen's music fan. You and Brandon,
I told you,
that music. Oh my gosh!
I'll say this though, when I heard it, it definitely took me back, bro. I was like, oh, okay, yep,
I told you.
Yeah, it was one of those things, but
it takes you back to being in the Dewburns.
It really does, though. In all honesty, like it really does.
Standing next to me, Brandon Guy, and brother Hugh, we all just boogieing and eating pizza, that cold pizza.
Nah, it was fun. It's something about those indie spots that kind of you appreciate them now. But yeah, so I was watching all that stuff. I got to see Jay Lethal versus Roderick Strong that I was actually in there in person for to see, and when they went almost 72 minutes, E-Rock was there too. And I remember I was just catching with everything. I caught up on, I believe it was Adam Cole versus Jay Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World Championship. I mean, I was watching everything. Bobby Fish versus Adam Cole, 35-minute matches. I was watching AJ Styles versus Adam Cole at Extravaganza, and I don't think it was in Vegas, but it was around. I think it wasn't in Vegas. I was watching all kind of stuff, and then I did this thing where I went to Stupid Peacock and I put on WCW Monday Nitro, a random one on 98, and I fell asleep watching it. And all night, I just had so many great sounds of, because what happens on Peacock, the good thing about Peacock is, the only good thing about Peacock is when you're watching it and the show's over, it goes to the next week.
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot. I woke up to WCW Monday Nitro. I was in such a good mood this morning. Like, I'm hearing Macho Man randomly in the middle of the night. I wake up and I see Sting and Kevin Nash in the main event. I said, man, Russell was really good. Like I tweeted the other day because
shout out to Mimi in the building.
Mimi, I'll tell you exactly why I think Peacock is stupid, because I missed the WWE network and it's not the same. I don't need any other reason besides that. It's slow. It's all over the place. It's not as organized as I needed to be. And I'll say Taekwon starting. He's calling Bobby Fish old. He showed up in Impact this week, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. He had a few words to say, but yeah, man, I was in such a good mood this morning. I said, man, I need this. And guess what? I think I'm going to do the same thing tonight. Except I think tonight I might do Monday Night Raw. So
you're gonna sleep better, bro.
I'm telling you, like I go to sleep with a smile on my face. I wake up with a smile on my face, and I was like, man, I'm just in such. It takes me back to, good old fashioned wrestling days. It's my childhood, so I had a lot of fun. So I've been on wrestling overload because this season is big wrestling season for me. But yeah, let's speaking of watching Taekwon said he's been watching ECW on Peacock. I tried to watch I forgot what match it was. Speaking of ECW though, I watched Kurt Angle versus RVD and the WWE ECW version, which was an underrated match. Right before Kurt Angle was on his way out the door, and I got a chance to, I'm a big Shane Douglas fan, so I was watching a lot of his stuff. But man, this is my time of year to get into all the old stuff, and while we have a lot of new stuff too, and we'll get into that, man. But it's time to finally unveil some business. We got some people in here, and Kurt Angle was he was there. I'm not gonna repeat it. Taekwon is starting already. It's okay. This is why we're here. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things that's been going on in the world of professional wrestling. A lot of changes being made, right? And there's been a lot of rumors in regards to championships changing and maybe merging and separating and getting new designs and things of that nature. But ladies and gentlemen, here on the Wrestling Wrealm, we are going to unveil to you some brand new championships. So last week, the Wrestling Wrealm got a phone call, and we got them at three situations by someone, and they say, "Listen, are you available on this day?" Now, this individual doesn't say anything usually. He doesn't usually, if he's asking for us to show up, or me personally, or us individually, it's for a reason. I said, hey, by all means, what do you need? What do you need, brother? It's a good brother. Mm-hmm. So I'm I get a phone call, and I'm late. I'm riding around town, and I pull up to the spot, and he opens the door, and I walk in the door, and I see the good brother sitting there. I'm like, wait a minute, Brother Hughes there, and Brian Nixon. I don't know if they knew they were coming, or they knew they were going to be there at some point together. But I know when I pulled up, I was like, oh, the brothers are here. Okay, so we was in full effect, the Wrestling Wrealm. And we walk into the room, and we were probably gifted one of the most thoughtful and most spectacular gifts that we have ever received from anybody, as far as the brand and as far as the Wrestling Wrealm is concerned. Brandon Guy, we call him Brandon the Guy. He decided to do a very kind gesture. Like I said, a good brother. He's been on the show. He's going to be on the show again. He's a reoccurring member of the Wrestling Wrealm. He showed up, and he gave us. We originally thought he was going to give us just some replica titles that he was going to, just get rid of as he was making upgrades, because he's a belt king. Look at that. And so naturally, he had 3 separate belts available for us, and we were surprised to have them. And we were so happy that he was just getting rid of replica titles that he was going to upgrade, and we were just being grateful and gracious about that. But he pulled the complete okie doke on us, and he surprised us with our very own custom Wrestling Wrealm championship titles. Where's the photo? There it is right here. Bam. Look at that. Hold on. That's just. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Wrealm would like to present to you brand new Wrestling Wrealm championship titles.
Oh yeah.
Special thanks to Brandon the guy. Look at these beauties.
Check me out.
See that? You see that?
Look at that. She's sexy, ain't she?
Look at that. So we would like to personally take this time to thank you, brother Brandon, publicly in front of the world as we unveil these new championships. Yes, he designed these championships custom for us personally, to tell a story. And you know, each of us can probably go into what we like to do, but as you can see, we have multiple plates, and each thing kind of tells something different about who we are as individuals as far as his brand. If you don't know Brandon Guy, he was a part of the Wrestling Wrealm from the very beginning. He used to do our independent report, and you know, he's a guy who has traveled the road with us over and over again. And I mean, we couldn't be more than grateful and thankful that he provided us with these championship belts. If you're looking to customize a belt and you need help with belt creation and design, I would definitely hit him up. We can put his information up here later, but we wanted to go out here and just unveil to the world the brand new Wrestling Wrealm championship titles. So just once again, before we get into it, this is what it is. So when you see us in public, so if you see my plates have, you know, the Wrestling Wrealm logo, the signature side logo, and the main logo on the center plate. And this is the 10th anniversary logo right here. And if you look at my other side plates, this is the very first Wrestling Wrealm logo that I designed. This is where it all began. We had to come up with something. We wanted to be professional, and this is a part of our history. For my title, he decided to show the history of the Wrestling Wrealm. And as a designer and as someone who has designed all these things, man, I just it's such a masterpiece to see your work kind of highlighted, and kind of now this is like a trophy. This is solidifies, you know, what we've done. And look at this, the city of Baltimore is where we're from. You know,
yes,
born and raised. This will always be in us, no matter where we go and how we travel. You know, we'll always take that with us. But I mean, this is the story that he wanted to tell with mine, and this is the most amazing like thing that anyone's ever done for me outside of, you know, loved ones and families, man. But he's a good brother of ours, and we couldn't thank you enough for these, man. This is just amazing. Like I said, if anybody wants to be a part of anything like this, please hit him up. He can design. He can get you good rates, all that stuff, though. But yeah, I'll let the rest of the brothers, Brian Nature Brother Hugh, jump in by any means, and by any means, excuse me, and go ahead and just kind of speak on your particular titles and what you think about it and all that good stuff.
I'm kind of going back to where to when he gave it to her. I was
it was an emotional day. It was.
I literally didn't speak for like 20, 30 minutes, and Brandon was just kind of like, "Oh my gosh, he's not talking," and I'm like, "Whoa." This is beautiful. Like nobody's ever done anything like this for us. But hey, man, bless you, bro. Bless you. That's all I can say, man. I appreciate it.
Brian H.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I just want to say, like, you know, huge shout out to Brandon for I've been, you know, me and Brandon knowing each other since 2000 and all the way in high school, and just the instant click. And it all started with, "Oh, you like wrestling?" And the first thing I found out, if you know anything about brother Brandon, is that he is the biggest Jerichoholic, number one. And I will bet my bank account on that there is not a bigger Jerichoholic than BA_guy. And you know, my particular championship, you know, it has the city of Baltimore, it has the side logo, but right here it says proud wrestling fan, and y'all know the story. If you know, this is the can I curse?
Is it not your podcast?
This is the shit I got made fun of for years. And
talk your smack.
It finally, like, you know, I've been very vocal that in the past year that I've, you know, finding this community, you know, seeing people like Mimi, like Justin, just did WrestleMania. Mimi wrote an article that included the Wrestling Realm. Justin, supporting us. Taquan, every
Justin.
week. We never even heard Taquan's voice.
Sure enough.
But those wrestler girls was in the chat. Stephen Michael, all these people, been blessed to be able to meet these people, and we've all had this thing in common. And but like prior to meeting everybody, Brandon was this person that I could always go to and have a wrestling reference to anything. And it was like, all right, Brian. It was never, all right, Brian, that's enough wrestling. Brother Hugh, the same way from sixth grade. And I always I always go back to that one fateful day in the spring, the first semester day of the spring semester 2011. My friend Danny was saying, oh yeah, he got a wrestling show. And I was like, ain't the time to talk about that right now. And there's this guy who's standing 6'6" and just the coolest guy in the room says, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And I turned around like this. You like wrestling? Oh, yes, sir. So I handed him this broke down business card.
The only one you ever had.
Who had one? More?
Bro, I said, you got any more business card? Oh, no, that was the last one I had. I'm like, don't tell me he bought one business card. You got a sample.
Yeah, because I printed it myself. And that's when I met the real Dwayne Allen, y'all. And every day, I was at Morgan State last week, and I should have took some pictures. As Brandon say, 6'12". But I should have took some pictures because it was like that moment. Like we created the Wrestling Realm at Morgan State on the corner of whatever that street is. Now they got signs and stuff. They didn't have no signs. It was just a blank building in communications where we was degreed in broadcast, and I think Dwayne's is telecommunications. So we know what the hell we talking about. But yeah, and like I said, when it comes to brother Brandon Guy, the guy.
The guy.
I mean, I could go on and on. I got, countless belts because of this guy. My first independent wrestling show back when the Canadian Destroyer wasn't a setup move. We got to see that in person, Yeah. So tomorrow on Patreon dropping, I wrote out the story. I'm gonna make this one free. Y'all gonna get this one for free because I want everybody to see how much it's gonna be a story called it's already written. But it's like I got a belt and talk about the first time I got my first championship belt from my uncle.
That's gonna be good. I've heard the story. I don't mean to cut you up. I've heard this story 1,000 times, and you know what? I'm feeling nostalgic. I'm like, man, I want to hear this again.
Did you ever see that belt? I don't remember if I still had it by the time we met.
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
It was in the basement, your mom's basement when we were.
And it's like coming apart.
Project. Yeah, it was taped together like hardcore title style.
Yeah, 94, man. My uncle gave me to my grandmother. Said, "Ask your uncle, can you have it?" And I was like, "He gonna say no." I said, "Troy, can I have this?" Yeah. So
we traded toy belt stories. So that's how I remember. Because I had a story too.
And so
maybe I'll start writing for Patreon. I just thought about something. Go ahead.
Look, and Justin's in the chat. He's a proud Patreon of the Wrestling Realm. We definitely appreciate that. But I have the story written. I didn't want to put it in the text because I didn't know if it was gonna show up as drafts, but that's coming out tomorrow. So I just want to say, Brandon, love you, brother. Appreciate you. I know I was wrong,
man.
Yes, sir.
Man. Say your piece. God dang it, shit. Don't apologize for nothing, man. We talking about brother Brandon. He deserves every last bit of it. And we're gonna do something else with these titles. There it is. Let's give a man a round of applause.
And then, just because,
there you go. He deserves it. We're gonna do something else special, and he's also going to get his own title too. He's going to design his own special Wrestling Realm title. He's like Bray Wyatt. His ideas are always all over the place and enough to bury him. So
the Belt King.
Yeah, he's
because y'all haven't seen it, but we seen.
Oh yeah, when we get permission from him, we're going to show you his belt room with his collection. It's extensive, but I said, we're going to keep on saying thank you. I don't care who drops off, but we're going to keep saying thank you, brother Brandon, for these wonderful gifts, man. Like these are milestones, these are trophies, and I couldn't be more appreciative. But like I said, we're going to you're going to have more pictures of these. They're going to go on our social media. We'll probably clip this off, man. We took a few photos. So just to give you a small preview of some of the photos that Brian took photos of his, just to get a better look at it. And we'll do more, as time goes on. My apologies to the people that can't see this on the podcast, but you know, catch it on youtube.com/the Wrestling Wrealm. So this is just, you know, quick image of all three of our titles and different like that. But you know, one of us decided to go up and above. He wanted to go up and above the Call of Duty, and you know, Brother Hugh really wanted to like really show off, you know, his title. I mean,
that's what I do, baby. That's what I do.
And I told him we would, you know, let the fans see it. So this is Brother Hugh wanted to take special photos for his title, and this is just what he came up with. But ladies, I think this is for you. That's saxophone music. So there you go. So brother, you want to show off his title a little bit different than everybody else's, man. But brother, hey, you had every right to do so. But
yes, sir.
Like I said, brother Brandon, thank you, sir. We appreciate you again. So you got to see these belts kind of in the show, out the show, periodically, in and out of the spots. So
that's a whole can of cocoa butter right there.
No, it looked like it, brother. It was nice. He was nice and tan. I can tell.
Right,
like,
bro.
I said, "Oh yeah, this is."
Oh, come on, Taquan.
I was looking like a rotisserie chicken.
He was looking like a. Oh man, but man, like I said, we can't. We're gonna jump right into the show now. I know we're about 26 minutes in. But we're gonna jump right into it, brothers.
The best thing that happened in wrestling all week. What you mean?
I mean, that's why
we got belts.
That's how it started out. This is a dream come true. Like,
yes,
we're talking about getting replica belts. Now we got our own. Look at that. This is. Can you imagine when we pull up to anybody's event, hint, and just pull up like, "What's up, everybody? What's going on?"
Right. It's a wrap.
But speaking of a wrap, this week, ladies and gentlemen, we got a new member to the family. Not our family, but the bloodline. Honorary Uce, Sami Zayn, finally embraced as a member of the bloodline. And let's just say Jey Uso did not seem too happy about it. Brian H., how do you feel about Sami Zayn finally being embraced into the bloodline?
I love it, man. I thought that was great. First of all, how good is Roman Reigns? You know, he had everybody in that building, no matter how cool the cool heel he's been.
Mm-hmm.
He had everybody in the building ready to hate him, and they was getting ready to get behind Sammy. Everybody, you know, you can look at Sammy's face, right? And he looked like, man, he about to cry. Like you wanted to give him a hug when he said, "Don't put that shirt back on. I don't want to see you in that shirt again." I felt it. I felt it. And then when he gave him that shirt, and then Jey Uso instantly like, I just ripped the shirt off for this. It's gold, man. And then just the little stuff like with you got Solo Sikoa saying, "Nah, y'all got some issues or whatever." I'm rolling with Sammy. Like this just all works. It all works there. It's exciting, you know. Like you said, Solo definitely is looking like he's the muscle. I like him acknowledging the tribal chief right away. I don't, you know, we ain't need to go through the whole thing all over again. It would have been cool to watch, but we know Roman ain't full time, so you know, he's not on there every week. So I loved every bit of it, and I love Sammy being in the bloodline. He is everything he's been touching all year. Matter of fact, since him and Kevin Owens last year at WrestleMania, and probably a little bit before then, everything Sami Zayn has touched has been gold.
Absolutely.
And you know, Sammy's been one of the unsung heroes of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they were in the Thunderdome, Sami was one of the guys that kind of, I don't want to say embraced the empty arenas, but he understood how to work an empty arena when you were kind of performing for an audience of one, which is at home. So absolutely, brother Hugh, the theatrics of Jey Uso, he does not seem to be happy about Sami Zayn becoming honorary Uce. Let me tell you what I'm thinking, and my smart mark hit. I'm thinking like, okay, this was supposed to be a temporary situation. This is like Steve Urkel written into Family Matters for one episode, and then all of a sudden the whole show's about him. Right. I feel like in a lot of ways, like said, this was supposed to be something temporary, and you know, this was supposed to be just something just to kind of buy time until we can get some bigger feuds, comic relief, and it seems as if Sami has painted himself into this main event storyline, and he's like a key component to it. What do you think about how he's being received by one Jey Uso, because every time Sami comes up, Sami seems to be doing his job very well now, and it's killing Jey Uso. How long do you think this can last?
Man, I'm loving it. I'm not gonna lie. I can kind of relate to it.
Hold on. Who can you relate to? Let me ask you that first.
Nah, Jay.
Okay.
Jay. You know how you had that one guy that's trying to hang around your crew? You just be like, why is he here, bro? Like,
hey, we had that guy a couple years ago. Speaking of belts and Brandon guy, we used to call him other guy.
Oh my god!
I'll take it back.
Remember him? Remember we used to look around.
Yes.
Remember, you remember we used to be at New Burns Arena, right? And we'd be all talking, and you look over, and there's this guy, of course, like this.
Yeah.
It's like,
and you know, Brandon already don't like people, so you got to be.
So that's funny. I'm glad you mentioned that though, because we lived it.
Man, yeah, I'm loving it though. But definitely, there's some sort of dissension in the bloodline. Whether that's going to blow up, or I'm also looking at the fact that the elders sent Baby Uce to take care of Roman Reigns. So are we going to have some sort of beef between Roman Reigns and the elders later on?
It's funny you mentioned that, because once again, when you look at the storytelling and how they just built on this whole concept of the bloodline, right? They look so powerful and strong. Like when you look at them now, they're like, oh, who's gonna get these guys out of here, right? And when you have a wrinkle like the elders sending the Baby Uce to say, hey man, don't forget your roots, we have some issues, whatever the case may be, and Roman kind of, I guess, culturally overstepping his boundaries, saying, no, you answer to me now. It's like, man, it adds another wrinkle into the story.
Right.
And I'm more than happy to see where it goes, because this is just one of the things, even while Vince was still running the show, that they've done extremely well as far as story building, character evolution, as well as just giving Roman this, I think, paying respects to the Samoan wrestling dynasty and kind of taking that story and turning it into a storyline, which I think is absolutely fun and well deserved. And it's paying off, because, you know, culturally these guys are at the top, and, you know, these guys are pretty much running the WWE at this moment. But what do you guys think about the main event that followed with the Usos versus the Brawling Brutes? It was a lot of different aspects to that match itself, but I'm talking about, it was a tag team wrestling match that was in the main event that had so many different components to it, that was just so over the top, but yet it made so much sense. And I don't think anybody looks bad in this match, even though somebody had to lose. But what do you guys think, Brian H., of the main event though? Just the Usos delivering, and then taking the Brawling Brutes that are kind of like, we've kind of embraced them a little bit differently now because of their presentation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, they just shut the house down. Like, to see how you have to be a strong, legitimate veteran tag team to be able to main event SmackDown and just tear the house down. What do you think about the main event with the Usos versus the Brawling Brutes?
Now, I enjoyed it. I think with you know, like you said, I mean, they're Brawling Brutes, they hard hitters, and we've seen the Usos work with so many different types of tag teams, from the Bludgeon Brothers, from the New Day, from the Revival, to now, you know, the Brawling Brutes. So, and they also just introduce more people going to watch the Usos. They must see TV, right? So you may tune in to SmackDown. If you're like a casual fan, you might tune in and you might miss the Brawling Brutes every week because they're in the middle of the show. So putting them in the main event spotlights them, and then you seeing, like, you know, how they are. You're like, you know what? These guys can go too. So I thought it was a great placement. I'm glad to see that happen for them.
Now, brother Hugh, Imperium, that was the fun part for me, is watching that match. And it's like, you understand the beef between the Usos and the Brawling Brutes, because it was for the WWE Unified World Tag Team Championships. But then Imperium shows up, and they've got unfinished business with the Brawling Brutes, and Walter and his gang showed up and got involved. What do you think, and how do you feel that Imperium is kind of how they're kind of shaping up and kind of taking their place in this whole bloodline storyline? Because, you know, the tag team titles are almost its separate entity, right? So it's not always about Roman. So in one half of the bloodline, you have this issue with Roman and his assertion for dominance of WWE, but then you also have the Usos that are the hunted. They are the undisputed tag team champions, and here you have a lot of tag teams that are vying for the championship, and Imperium happened to be one of them. So it doesn't matter whether the Brawling Brutes had a championship; they've got unfinished business with Sheamus and old Butchie and Pete Dunne and Rich Holland. What do you think about Imperium's involvement in this match and how they fit into this main event scene?
I love that aspect of it. This feud that's going on between the Brawling Brutes and Imperium is Smash Mouth. It's Ravens Pittsburgh. and I'm loving it. And then they announced that Sheamus is gonna fight Gunther one more time for the IC title. We get to see a great match, a 5-star match again. Possibly. And Sheamus, I don't know what's going on with him nowadays. Everybody loving Sheamus nowadays, man. He's
Isn't that
getting
crazy?
his flowers now. Yeah. And he's getting his flowers. And he's like 44, 45 now.
Yeah, he's one of the old dogs.
He's one of the vets. He's one of the vets, and he's teaching these young boys, and I love it. I love it.
I think that's one of the.
No, go ahead.
I think that's one of the best parts about it is that they found a way to get veterans working with young talent, but it seems like this new talent is kind of has given Sheamus new life, and even this feud with Gunther has kind of revived Sheamus, and it's given him a respect that he probably deserves, but none of us actually wanted to give him, because I'm not a big Sheamus guy, but I was thoroughly impressed with what he was able to do, and I was like, you know what, man, to see the reaction he got in Cardiff, Wales after the match, I'm like, man, you can't tell if he lost, because that goes down as one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life, and it goes down as one of the greatest matches in WWE history, and it goes down as one of the greatest Intercontinental Championship matches of all time. It worked itself to that category, and that's something that I never thought we'd be saying in 2022 with just the way that we consume wrestling. So you don't always have the opportunity to have matches of that caliber and make that lasting of an impact for each superstar. So I think Sheamus and these new guys is giving him new life. But
Taquan, I think they're more of like the brute. Was it the Brawling Brutes? They're more of like a tweener now. It's not really like straight up heels anymore. Ever since Imperium stepped in, it's kind of like they took the heel role over.
Well, that's kind of the thing, though. You know what I mean? I think I know Vince was trying to do this a while ago. So let's kind of erase these stereotypes of good and bad. Let's just focus on where beef is. Like, I'm not good, I'm not bad. I'm me, and I want what I want. And you kind of let the crowd decide, because sometimes who you are as a heel, who you are as a face can change from moment to moment. We saw if you want to go historical, we talk about Bret Hart in the Hart Foundation's run, late in his run in WWE, when he was outside the country, he was a face, but he was in the States and he was a heel, and it was something people thought was impossible. But at the end of the day, when the fans decided what they want, it's hard to change their minds, because these days fans can hijack a show. So I think embracing this kind of new hybrid look, let's not focus on good guys and bad guys. If you're a good guy in this moment, you be a good guy. If you're a good guy in that moment or a bad guy in that moment, then you'll be a bad guy. So at the end of the day, it's all exciting. It's fun. It's fresh, and I'm looking forward to it. But speaking of something exciting and fresh, Drew McIntyre challenges Karrion Kross to a strap match at Extreme Rules. There's a build-up here between Karrion Kross, Brother Hugh, and Drew McIntyre, and I know where this is going, because it's Drew's turn to make a superstar, right? This is a main event program, because Drew is a main event guy, and Karrion Kross has the look and the build of a main event talent. And it's obvious they're trying to get him going early.
Right.
I like the idea of reintroducing something that's a little bit different, a little more classic, a little more old school when it comes to WWE specialty matches, especially of the hardcore sense that you're going to see at Extreme Rules. Do you think that Karrion Kross stands a chance in a strap match against Drew McIntyre? Because he's been catching Drew off guard all this time, and Drew's like, I need you to just come face me face to face, because you can't. I'm telling you, you can't see me. And Karrion Kross is just overly outsmarting him, because he's offended that he was chosen and Karrion Kross wasn't. So he has this vendetta against him, and now it's like, okay, like we saw a preview on the SmackDown when he had him in a strap and he couldn't get away. Like, we saw Karrion Kross try to get away, and you realize, oh shoot, he's got the strap on my wrist. And now it's like, okay, where are you going to run now? You got to deal with this Scottish psychopath. Do you think that Karrion Kross can live up to his name and produce on the same level with Drew McIntyre at Extreme Rules? Is this his time to become a star?
Yeah. I think he's going to hang. I think he's going to put out a good showing. I don't think he's going to win, because if you think about it, Drew is low key like the new John Cena, the new Superman.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
They proved it at the last, what was it, pay-per-view or whatever it's called now. Premium live event,
Premium live events,
They proved it then, because you had to get somebody to come down and interfere to take off Roman, to kick out Roman.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I think he's going to make a star out of Karrion Kross for sure. They're going to have a nice little series of matches, and we're going to go from there. But this first one is going to Drew, no matter what.
Brian H., do you think Karrion Kross becomes a star after this match?
I don't know. I can't see it right now.
You don't like Karrion Kross. Just submit. You don't like him. He doesn't like him. Like, okay. Let's divert. We're gonna go realm style, brother. Talk to your boys. Why don't you like Karrion Kross?
I mean, to me, he has a bigger presence than he really. They try to make it seem like he has a bigger presence, but it felt like he's supposed to be like this giant. Like I feel like when I see him and everything that they're doing, he's supposed to be like the same height as Drew McIntyre, right?
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to height shame, but I just don't see. I don't see it. You feel me? You know how like back in the day when they tried to make Roman, he was the big dog, right? And then he stood next to Triple H and was like, well, Roman ain't that big. Now he's not coming off as a big dog. He's just coming off as like just dominant, right?
Well, look at your boys though. Look at Macho and Hogan.
Well, Hogan was 6'8" before back surgery,
right? But Savage,
Macho walked on his tippy toes.
Exactly though, like
but and Karrion Kross ain't that good.
Okay, now,
go
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
I was going to say, to me, unless he has Scarlett, which we've seen what happened without her, it doesn't work. But I just ever since that Adam Cole promo,
I was just about to say, bro, are you being biased because Adam Cole?
I was about to say he's stuck on that. Yeah,
that's what we're doing. He exposed them. Yo, it's like if you watch basketball, right? And somebody, they get hit up real bad, and afterwards, it's like Ruben Patterson, right?
Oh yeah,
try to call himself the Kobe stopper.
After he played
with and like Kobe said, all you had to do was say like, "Hey man, can you help me get a contract deal?" He would have said, "All right, he was one of the toughest guys I had to guard, but he's good, toughest guy. He played me real tough." But nah, he went to call Kobe stopper. Kobe destroyed him. Never heard from him again.
Real bad.
Right. He probably got a contract or something, but no, man, it's the Adam Cole promo.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Shout out to Banks in the building.
Antonio Banks. I saw Banks. What's up, Banks? That's my guy. Hey, Banks, if you see a CM Punk in the wild, please holler at your boy. I'll see you in the He's in Baltimore Elite Scroll. Shout out to the group. But
there go Raj trolling. There trolling.
There it is. It's a whole nother company because
he'll be back.
I don't know.
He want to come home.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does because he could run AEW. Like they need him desperately in the main event scene, which I think is not a bad. If I'm being unbiased, of course I'd love to see him in WWE as far as the matchup is concerned. But
he should have been. He should have won that 4-way.
He could have. He could have been. I think he's injured, didn't he?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, he's not. We'll get to that though. I don't. Did we say anything nice about AEW this week? Hooker's a gangster.
No, there it is.
Hooker's still a gangster.
He gonna be on his show, Rampage. That's Hook's show.
It is though, and I'm okay.
SmackDown was the Rock show. Rampage is Hook's show.
Yeah, I'm okay with that though. But yeah, one last thing with Karrion Kross because Brian H doesn't like him. Do you think he has a chance? Is there a chance he could change your mind after Extreme Rules? Is there a chance that Brian H can sit down and watch that match and say, you know what? Okay, Karrion Kross, I see what people are talking about. Is there a chance? Okay. All right, listen. I appreciate your unbiased. That's all we can ask, though. But it's okay.
I like wrestling, so I want to see. I want all wrestlers to be good. It's better for the business and better for the product. It's just not possible.
Well, we're not gonna. It's okay. It's okay. We'll get into that. But let's move on to end the SmackDown. Like we're gonna glaze over some things so we can have some regular conversation because we got to adapt some things.
I'll tell you one thing. This shoulder will be strong as hell carrying on gold right here. You know what I'm saying?
About 10 pounds of gold.
This bad boy fits me kind of well. You know what I'm saying?
This is what championship shoulders are made of. You feel me?
Boy can get used to
Shout out to the guy.
The guy, Brandon, the guy. My guy Banks, appreciate you, brother. He just said he got me. Cool. Something interesting at the end of SmackDown, and I mean I don't necessarily mean the show, but I mean the show because apparently after the show in the main parking lot, a lot of people were going to their cars and they found this flyer. It was all black sheet with a white rabbit on it and coordinates to next Monday's Raw as of SmackDown when that Friday.
Right.
Now, we received the promo early in the week, and we discussed it on last week's show, 9/23. Were you brothers disappointed by the fact that all we got was another clue to the next phase? Because we're going to get to that later in the show because we have an investigation to get back into you. Brian H, get the music ready sooner rather than later. But were you guys Were you guys disappointed? Because I was set like, oh, he's coming back tonight, and I realized these guys are taking us deeper into the rap. Like I saw it on Twitter. I wish I had a picture to put up here, but see, Taekwon's not disappointed, but I was so overly excited about just the idea that I lost focus of what they're trying to do. There's a bigger payoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait. And I'm looking, and they did it on purpose, because guess what they did? Here's how they're messing with it. And I hate the fact we're watching them do the things that we never thought they would do when it comes to trolling the fans, because the first thing they did was at 9:23 was the Karrion Kross segment.
Right.
It was just ending. And I'm like, he just went on there and said he wasn't the White Rabbit, but he was also known as the White Rabbit in Lucha Underground. And it's like, you're messing with us at this point. And I'm like, it's 9:23. And I'm like, his segment just ends at 9:23. I'm like, come on, dude. Only to find out that there's these coordinates on these flyers on people's cars that lead to Monday Night Raw. But hey, listen, if you brothers say, he's already replacing the belt back there. If you listen to a podcast,
Right.
Brian, it's just replaced. What belt was that? I just missed it. What title was that?
Yeah, was that the US?
The US.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dang,
I mean, I rotate them, but
No.
I don't think that
yeah.
one's gonna stay on the. That's
Right. I get that.
He just threw Bobby Lashley on the floor.
No,
I didn't throw it. I placed.
No.
Well placed.
It's all right. That's okay.
Disrespect.
See,
God,
brother,
dang.
you got you all the tizzy.
I know.
But
He ain't trying to see me for this belt though.
See, look, this is what I personally afraid of. Do you know the damage we would have done?
Boy,
I had a foam belt, and my mother's not watching, so I can say this. You know how many wrestling matches I had off that foam belt? Can you freaking imagine?
Yeah.
What type of me and my brother would have did with these bad boys? You see these?
Oh my gosh.
Wait till he sees this. I don't think my brother's seen this yet. I'm gonna send this to my brother. I don't know why I didn't show him this, but he needs to see. He's gonna flip out, and I might hit him when he comes into town. I'm grown and I don't care. Like I'm grown. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm grown. I still mess with my brother like we're like 7, and I don't care. I done bought.
Y'all Owen and Brett. I call y'all Owen and Brett,
bro. It's like big time. Like there's no other way to put it. Except I wasn't.
Dwayne's taller.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't have spoiled his own heart, but it's the same dynamic though. But we'll
I might have to ask your brother.
No, trust me, I would. I was always getting in trouble when I was a kid because I was always getting into stuff and jumping around and and I was big. So like you can't get into mischief and be big. You get caught every time.
That's what I said. That you got caught as you was trying to like,
bro. Like here's me trying to be sneaky. Now I'm knocking everything like you can't be sneaky and you knocking everything over. And I'm like, oh gee, and have an attitude when I get caught though.
Sound like your nephew.
yeah. You know what I mean? Like how are you going to get cooked? Like you just got caught and you got an attitude. So, but that was me, you know. But that's what this belt. I think, I might invite him.
Can't be a sneaky giant.
No, you can't. No, it's not possible. Like I have ninja feet now, but I worked years to get to that point. But we'll get into more clues about this White Rabbit because we're gonna dive into this whole situation with Bray Wyatt. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, you talk about a deep rabbit hole. This thing has gone far beyond. It's so crazy. I didn't even want to put it into the show today. Like I'm not putting up no graphics stuff because last week it took a lot. Now we got a lot of views in that one section that you cut off. I appreciate everybody looked at that, but this is too much. But let's keep going. Let's move on to Monday Night Raw because we got some stuff to discuss. Bayley challenges Bianca Belair to a ladder match at Extreme Rules. Now, this is what I've been trying to get into. Mm-hmm. This is the match that I've been looking for from Bayley since her return. Bayley is kind of like not like a first person to do a lot of things, but she does have a lot of first when it comes to the women and what she has done. And I love her approach to her creative and how she produces match. First of all, I think she's one of the baddest wrestlers like on the planet, like male or female. I've always been a fan of Bayley, but to have a ladder match with Bianca Belair, I mean, ever since NXT, I said no. Like I'm telling you, I've never been historically a big fan of women's wrestling because I was just like, okay, it wasn't what I was used to. Like when I see like all the women went built like China, you know what I mean? Like I watched Sable powerbomb somebody, you know what I mean? Right. So in my ignorance, I just assumed like, okay, cool, it's got to be on the same level as that, and it just wasn't for me, especially like in the developmental stages. So it's not that I was never into it. I just never I never took a deeper dive into it until it was in front of my face, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, what do we have here?" You know, in Bailey and Sasha and the Four Horsemen, where and Asuka were 4 and 5 of the women. I was like, "Oh, okay, I see what this is about," and I became a huge fan of it. But she kind of pushed me in that direction. So to see her back in the mix to have a ladder match with Bianca Belair needs this match. You know what I mean? She needs this match. This match has a big match feel. Brian H, as the connoisseur of women's wrestling, and brother Hugh, you have as well. You guys have worked, with women's promotions in the past. You know what I mean? What does this match mean to you guys to have a women's title match that's actually a ladder match at Extreme Rules?
This is huge, and I think with the fact that you're going to get a women's championship match at Extreme Rules is one, it just goes to show you the credibility. One, the fact is about the whole pay-per-view, it's back to Extreme Rules. Everything has a stipulation, but for them to put them in a ladder match, we already know like Bianca's is the EST. She's the strongest, but she's going to have to be the smartest. She's very agile, but she's going to have to be the smartest in this. Bailey, like you said, she can go out there. She's done a lot of firsts. And this right here, ladder match is one of the premium matches, right? Like for me, I would say Hell in a Cell, cage, and ladder match. It's like it's on all the video games. It's what you go to. So to have that belt suspended high, I think is great. And the best part about it is you really don't know who's going to win. Bianca's had the championship since WrestleMania. She could, most of the time people go from WrestleMania to SummerSlam, maybe into a Survivor Series if you're lucky. She could very well lose the championship here, but it's also Bailey was the one who pinned her overseas, which I loved that. I love that it was done in a way where, eventually Bianca was going to have to take a pin. They did it in a way where it took all of them, and it could be a thing where Bailey beats her for the title and she has to go back and chase Bailey. I think this has been a phenomenal run for Bianca, but she's got a really good dance partner coming up, and this is going to be fun to watch.
Time. No, I agree with you, and brother Hugh, I definitely want to get your opinion on, I guess, the outside noise of that match. Brian H definitely said quite a bit, and every last bit of you said was absolutely true. But it's like, once again, you have all these wrinkles into the story. You've got Damage Control, and then you've also got Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Do you feel that the outside interference is going to have more of an impact on this match than the match itself? Kind of alluding to what Brian H is talking about. So you have these two warriors in the ring in a Bianca Belair and Bailey, but at the same time, though, there's a lot that's potentially going to be going on outside the ring. And also, I'm not so convinced that Alexa Bliss is not wrapped up into this whole Bray Wyatt thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that will overshadow the match itself, or do you feel like it's going to have that much of an impact, or do you just feel like flat out Bianca and Bailey are going to have an opportunity to go in there and tear the house down?
I wish they would have the opportunity to go in there and tear the house down, but
like you said, you wish.
I wish. It's a lot going on. Like you said, Damage Control on the outside, Asuka, Alexa. It's just too many people involved. And I mean, unless you do something like Damage Control comes out, Asuka, Alexa, they kind of battle back towards the back or whatnot, and they're gone for the rest of the match. Then you got your one-on-one title match going on. But I'd rather see those two just go at it. Honestly, I think Bianca's run was getting kind of dry to me in the last couple of weeks, and I was just like, okay, all right, I'm kind of tired of it.
Right.
I get it, because she is a star. Nothing against her. It's just like, I need something new. So I'm glad that Bailey is the one stepping up to the plate, and Bailey could put her over with a loss.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So I think either way, I don't think the Bray Wyatt situation or the White Rabbit situation is gonna play into it. So that's out the door.
Okay, so I'm telling you this right now. If they get on that ladder and the lights start blinking, what are you gonna say then?
I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna start screaming like a little girl because Bray Wyatt coming back.
I'm gonna say, brother Hugh, there's the light flickering.
Right.
But no, listen, you first of all, you look extremely cool chewing whatever you just chew after you play. Like, hey,
Right.
I want to be cool.
Dry fruit, baby. Dry fruit.
Hey, what kind of dry
Pineapples.
fruit is that? Now, see, that's the one thing. I'm sorry, folks. I didn't want to divert. I never got into dried pineapples for some reason.
Yeah, I got pineapples, strawberries, cranberries, kiwi. There was something else in here. Apricots were in here.
Sure, I'll get it. Hold on, Banks said something. Banks said, I want to know when Rhea will be cleared. I think Rhea has to be one to be up. That's an interesting take. But you know what though, Banks, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the next subject, gentlemen, that we're going to get into, and of course we'll get into Extreme Rules probably next week, as that'll be our kind of a preview show for Extreme Rules, was because what Brian said was very key, that for the first time in a long time, every match literally has a different type of hardcore situation to it, which is going to be really, really fun, I think, especially around this time, close to Halloween and October and fall and all that good stuff. But he brought up the Judgment Day. Brothers, we need to discuss this. And this is why I didn't try to overload the rundown, because we need to have more discussions, because we, like, forget the people. We got to figure this out together. Tyquan said Dry Mango's are great too. He's one of the fellas.
Yeah,
Judgment Day. Where's this going? And more importantly, where would you like to go? Let me explain to myself, because I want you to understand where I'm coming from. Brian H., help me understand this, good brother. They're involved in a lot of things right now, right?
Yeah.
Like you saw Monday Night Raw, and you have Seth versus Rey Mysterio, right? Judgment Day gets involved. Bam. Okay, fine. Situates. Dominic's got an issue with his dad. Okay. Rhea and all that stuff, right? And then you leave it alone. And then you have Finn, who all of a sudden, him and AJ are like questioning their friendship. They're like, man, we're kind of fraternity brothers in a way. We're Bullet Club guys. They're not saying it. They're alluding to it though. Like, we're kind of Bullet Club guys, right? And Finn's trying to, like, all of a sudden he's trying to convince AJ Styles that the Judgment Day is the way to go. Okay, fine. I get that too, right? They, AJ Styles has a match with Sami Zayn later that night. Heck of a match, of course. Judgment Day gets involved. Finn has a chance to end AJ's career and goes, I'm not going to do that, because that's friends don't do that to friends. I'm like, okay, Finn, I get it. All right, you're trying to coerce AJ Styles and Judgment Day. Okay, fine. And then we have another situation where Riddle is facing off with Damian Priest, and here comes Edge. Edge returns for the 30th time. Thank God this has nothing to do with this whole White Rabbit situation. And all of a sudden, and then Edge challenges Damian Priest to an I Quit match at Extreme Rules, which is another fun hardcore style match that we're going to get for Extreme Rules. So Extreme Rules is going to be fun this year, right? But I'm saying to myself, okay, where is this all going? Right? We kind of saw the Judgment Day for what it, and I love and appreciate what Judgment Day is doing, because it's doing wonders for Damian Priest and Finn. It's keeping them relevant. They on Raw every week, SmackDown every night. You know what I mean? And as Bradley Brand said, as 746 return in 1 year. But where is this? Can Edge successfully break up or kill what he created? Right? What does it mean for Finn and AJ if they decide to get the beef? What happens with Rhea Ripley and Dominic when he comes to his senses? What happens when Damian Priest and Finn Balor don't get along? Where, brothers, is the Judgment Day going? Or where do you want it to go? Brian H., help me and everyone else understand.
I've been trying to figure this out, because they lose only to beat up their opponents. Like, they get pinned 1, 2, 3, and then they do beatdowns. And to me, Edge being a vet, it doesn't make sense for him to, like, destroy them, because, like, he's not needing to build his character, right? Like, let's just say it was somebody like younger in the business. I mean, younger than the WWE artist. Let's say it was Damian Priest, and he had to run through the Judgment Day just so that he could, like, and then after he's finished running through the Judgment Day, boom, he's an instant bigger star. Edge isn't going to be, to me, I said this the other day, Edge isn't Shawn Michaels, right? And people, this ain't fair, but he's not Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels had 2 great runs. Edge's secondary run could have ended for me personally after that greatest wrestling match ever with Randy Orton.
No, I couldn't end that. That was a bad match to end it on.
No, that one they had in the ring.
That was during the pandemic, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a good match.
No, not you can't end in front of no people.
Okay, all right, put it like that. You're right. But as far as the match itself, right?
Some
I understand where you're
Edge.
going.
How about Edge versus Roman at SummerSlam? Was it SummerSlam?
There you go. Yeah,
That was a good one to end it on.
yeah.
I'm glad Edge is back though. I don't want Edge in his run to end. Go ahead, Brad Edge.
But I guess because like I'm looking at it like I don't need these start and stops. Like Brandon said, this 746 return in 1 year. Taquan said Edge exits just a return, and this is Edge 8th return since his comeback. I don't need that. He won the Royal Rumble twice, and he's the only person in history to win multiple Royal Rumbles to unsuccessfully win the WWE Championship or World Championship both times. So, like I'm looking at like, so why would he destroy the Judgment Day? Something he created, but no, and Banks, no, I'm just saying that's how it was built. I know it wasn't the greatest match ever, but I just don't like. I personally wanted to see AJ join the Judgment Day. I wanted to see what would happen.
I want to hear this, brother. Go ahead. This is getting good. You're on the roll. I want to hear this, brother. I got to hear this. So why did you want? What would that have done for you? Because it seems like we're getting back to this world of factions. I don't know if it's because DXC is celebrating next week, but it's like
it would have gave me the 2-man power trip vibes, right? Like you got these two guys.
It's not 2-man power trip though. It's a group though. Like do they,
I know, but
do they still have the same effect with a group? Can AJ go that dark? I don't know.
That's the thing. It would have been interesting seeing if. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, the 2-man power trip, yeah, you're right. Not yet, but those two big because like I can't see AJ saying, "All right, well, fine, I'm gonna follow you, Finn," and I can't see Finn following AJ, but I can see them both leading together. Those behind, but they keep telling us that
when they were faces, right? Weren't they supposed to be the ones to take down the Judgment Day together before Finn joined? And isn't that the same thing?
Dang, you know what? I forgot about that. That's how long.
That's what I'm saying. Like
carrying on.
Like what you said makes perfect sense, but that's how they started out. Remember, they were like, okay, look, man, it'll be us two versus the rest of them. You know what I mean? And then Edge kind of got booted out, and Finn kind of stepped in, and I don't know. Does it work? What's the dynamic? I mean, what do the people think?
I'll say this: they make sense for Raw. I mean, they have their place. It's not like. They're not like what's that Retribution?
Okay, yeah,
they're not like them.
To go nowhere.
Yeah, I feel like they go out there, because whatever Dominic and Ray got going on, that's always interesting. It's must see TV. Dominic and Rhea, that's fun for social media for us to do what we do and tease them. Then you got Buddy Murphy or Buddy Matthews or whatever. He's letting people know like, nah, y'all, that's my woman. Yeah, y'all gonna stop playing with that Dominic Rhea stuff. So, either way,
man, you better shut up, buddy. You better shut up. you better shut up. Talk about you better play. You better shut up. Like,
you see him posting pictures with her?
Nah, it's not. You better shut up. You better shut up. Just gonna keep telling me. You better shut up.
Right.
Yo, that's a sound drop.
That's what I'm saying. Talk about you better shut up.
So yeah, I'm here to watch the Judgment every week lose and beat up people.
But what about you, brother Hugh? What's your take? Like, where's the end game? Like, where is this going to be like one of the most dominant factions in WWE history at this point? Or do you feel like there's so many elements that have a chance? Edge is trying to break it up on one end, Ray's trying to break it up on another end, AJ's going to try to break it up on another end. Like, what's the end game? And like, what? I understand the purpose of the Judgment Day, and I'm not against it. I'm just saying to myself, I'm just curious. Like, well, what's the end game? What are we trying? Not what are we trying to accomplish with the Judgment Day? Because I see what they're doing. It's an excellent platform for all three players involved, including Dominic. Outside of Finn being a vet. But I'm curious, like, so where is this going to go? Like, you have Hall of Famers that's trying to break this group up and they're struggling. So it automatically makes the group like it's putting them over a little bit more, which is good. You know what I mean?
I'm okay. I was about to say it's kind of like giving me Randy Orton Legend Killer vibes.
It is, but at some point, aren't all empires meant to fall, Brother Hugh? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's just so many ways so many options. Like you can go Finn, AJ.
That's bad, brother guy. He said Retribution in purple.
Oh
no, not that bad. They're not that bad.
Nah. they can definitely take over the Raw or whatnot for sure. But then you got Finn and AJ, they can go off, and I'm feeling like they're gonna do their own thing and create like the Bullet Club or the Balor Club or whatever it is, some type of club. And I feel
the original club.
You never know, But I feel like the Good Brothers, and they're gonna create something, and so that's where it's kind of alluding to.
It is though. So you're calling for a Finn Balor face turn. Is Brother Hugh going on the record right now officially, so the fans can hear? Has the third is officially saying that Finn Balor is going to do a face turn and join the Bullet Club? Is that what you're saying? On the record?
Yeah.
Clip it.
Yeah.
Look, don't get me wrong. I can see that, but with him being the leader, man, there's a lot of wrinkles to it. I don't know. I'm curious, man. I just want to know what you brothers thought. Go ahead.
I could also see new people joining the faction too, though. So I'm not sure who.
Kind of like a revolving faction.
Maybe like maybe like an Escobar,
or like
if he came in,
but he has his own group, doesn't he?
No, he's not there. He's not at NXT.
He doesn't have his.
Remember?
Oh yeah, he lost that match, but he had his boys with him, didn't he?
I haven't seen his boys was on there like 1 or 2 times after that, but then after that, like I haven't really seen him. But still, he can join. You see what I'm saying? And then Escobar can be the mouthpiece, and it's just so many ways you can flip it.
What about like Brandon said? What about a Dominic Dijakovic or T-Bar as they call him, or what about like a Madcap Moss? Do you see like those type of guys, kind of like? I could see Madcap Moss being a bad guy again, like being serious, like I'm tired of joking around, or I don't know.
I can't, but I think they like goofy Madcap. But Dominic, man, if we get him, it's over.
Okay, so
I need Dominic. I need him back. I mean, he should never came up as T-Bar in the first place.
Sure, I think Dijakovic is Donovan Dijak is one of those guys that should have. Yeah, but okay. So let me ask you this one more question, and then we'll move on because we got to move on. If Finn turns, who's the leader? Does Damian Priest ready to take the reins, or does Rhea kind of say, "All right, I got all the boys, and I got all the boys in line. They do my bidding," which is a different dynamic.
Well, first of all, Rhea is already the leader.
She kind of is. I'm not gonna hold you. You're absolutely right, and I love the fact that they kind of put her at the centerpiece.
Yeah, and I noticed that just little things like the entrance and now, how they all come out, individually, and then she's the last one right in the middle, like
kind of like Edge was,
So.
Do you remember how it was that way with the Shield at one point, where like each guy would take turns being in the middle, and you're like, well, who's the leader of the Shield at one point? And Dean thought he was the man. No, sir. But yeah, I did, of course. But listen, brothers, only time will tell. But we'll move on from the Judgment Day. I think there's still a lot left on the bone, and we'll take one day at a time. They're featured every week, which is good. And they all seem to be happy with their spots in the company. So, we'll look forward to see what they do. My spot. Oh, man. I listen to Kevin Nash's podcast.
Oh, Lord.
Bro. Off the air. That's when I'll discuss that. That's, off the air. Anyways. Candice LeRae returns to the WWE. Were you guys surprised to see Candice LeRae? Johnny Gargano's wife shows back up. She looks in excellent shape after having a baby. She had your baby. And Candice LeRae is back in WWE. Were you guys surprised or happy to see her? Were you guys big fans of Candice LeRae ahead of time, or somebody just kind of
Honestly, I ain't care. But
I mean,
but she's a great addition.
Sure.
Talent wise, she's a great person to have on the roster. Why are you laughing, bro?
That's why. That's right. You see it? See what he said?
Oh my gosh.
There you go. There you go.
I like that though, but it's just funny because it's like out of all, it's with both of them.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, she's a nice addition. Nice talent to throw in the mix every once in a while.
I think it was a smart move, man. Candice LeRae is obviously talented, and she I don't think she got her feet wet in NXT the way that she probably would have wanted to, but with Triple H kind of now in charge, I think sky's the limit. And of course, I'm happy for Johnny Gargano to have his wife on the roster with him because couples that wrestle together make money together. I don't know. I'm making that up in my head, but yeah,
No, that's a good one. Keep that.
That's
poison
wrestling couples. There you go. So it's anytime you keep wrestling couples happy, you have people happy at work. So, but yeah,
away from other guys.
Kevin,
I see Macho Man on my screen right now.
Listen, I was like, I had so much Macho Man stuff like locked into my head after watching WCW. When he Macho Man came out, this Hollywood. You talking about kicking me out of the NWO? I'm kicking you out of the NWO. Oh, yeah.
Man, never looked at it.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Like, what the heck is going on?
I couldn't help myself. I said to myself, it's gonna be a lot of Macho references, but it tripped me out. I'm watching. He's like, Hollywood. You
now I gotta turn this up.
Kicking me out of the NWO. I'm kicking you out of the NWO. But Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano, man, they're must-see TV every week. You talking about two of the best wrestlers on the planet. Kevin Owens is featured on Raw every week. He comes in, he kicks tail, he talks his trash, and he goes home. I'm telling you, Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens give off DX vibes. Like here's when I knew that Sammy's bloodline thing was permanent, because like they were kind of teasing like, hey, maybe Sammy and Kevin will do their best friends gimmick like finally on TV, and they'll be the ones that kind of take down the bloodline. But then Sammy started getting a more serious spot when it comes to the bloodline, and kind of getting a bit of a push with the main event storyline. And then Kevin Owens decides to team with Johnny Gargano. They have a lot of history there. And I was like, wait a minute. So now they're going to go Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano instead of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But man, I cannot explain how happy I am that Johnny Gargano has returned to the WWE. We're getting quality wrestling matches and entertainment each week on Mondays, which is something we struggled to get. It was either one or the other. You might get a decent match without rematches. I mean, and they're kind of like finagling different ways, right? So, like, first of all, Alpha Academy, they're doing tremendous work, and then you have these tag matches and singles matches and all these fun matchups. But what are you guys thinking about Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens and what they've been able to do every week? I know Johnny Gargano's just getting back into the mix, but Kevin Owens is like having his NXT run that he never had, even though he's been up there for 5-6 years. What do you guys think about these guys being must-see TV every week? I look forward to their matches that they're that good in the ring. Kevin Owens seems like he's got new life, and Johnny Gargano seems to be excited about what he's doing. What do you guys think?
There was a reason I went back and watched ROH over the weekend.
Yes, indeed.
I'm getting those vibes back, man. So like Kevin Owens, he can do no wrong right now. He's feeling himself. And they've been in Canada for what, the last week or so?
Yeah, and I think they're heading to Winnipeg on Friday.
Yeah. So he can do no wrong.
Did you see how big Kevin Owens was back in the day, yo, compared to now?
What?
I said, wow, that man has done a crazy transformation.
Right.
But Brian, you was about to say something?
No, I was just saying, like, it's just been fun to watch. Like you said, Kevin Owens, I mean, it's no secret. We were big Stone Cold fans growing up, and we got to see that every week with Austin.
Yeah.
And now we get, that's why I love the chat. We get Kevin Owens, and he's not trying to be Stone Cold, but he's being himself, but he's taking a lot of Stone Cold-esque, which is keep running your mouth. And that's the thing I like about him. The fact that he constantly runs his mouth. It's like, all right, what's he going to do now? So, and he can wrestle. He's like proving all haters, all doubters wrong. Yeah. And he's erasing that stink from WrestleMania 33.
Now let me ask you a question. Since you brought it up, this is what we do. We got to do this. We got to do this more on this show. We got to kind of pull, squeeze the juice out of the orange. Do you think the match, we'll squeeze the juices out of the orange? Yeah. Do you think that was because of the way Vince envisioned the match, or do you feel like that match would have been different now, knowing that Kevin Owens really couldn't be what we knew to be Kevin Owens? Because now I'm not blaming Kevin Owens anymore. Before I'm like, well, first of all, it's Jericho's fault because he never had a good
I always blame match. Jericho. Sorry, Brandon. But I always blame Jericho.
Sorry, Brandon. I forgot he's watching. Never had a good WrestleMania match. Nothing memorable.
Outside of Shawn Michaels. 19.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Safeco Field in Seattle.
Yeah.
Was it Seattle?
Oh, well,
Yep.
Real,
You hit
real
it
quick,
right on the
shout out to the Ring of Jericho title.
The Ring of Jericho. That's what we're gonna call it from now on. But yeah,
That's what he called it. He said the Ring of Jericho.
Hollywood Hugh.
you know, yeah.
And that's
Hollywood. I tell you one thing we won't call Chris Jericho Mr. WrestleMania because he's no sir. No sir.
No.
Him more AJ Styles.
Yeah, AJ's been letting me down too, bro.
Right? Yeah, like come on,
AJ,
man.
what's the deal, dude?
Yo, the whole weekend this year, everybody kept saying AJ and Edge, man, AJ and Edge, AJ and Edge. I'm like, yeah, we can't wait for that. We can't wait. That's right. The match right there.
That joke was slow and methodical. Slow and methodical.
Like, stop starting new chapters.
Exactly. That is not the story I expected you guys to tell. But what the heck were we talking about? We just went off the rails.
Kevin Owens, Kevin Owens, Jericho. You was about to say something along the lines of, would the match have been different? It wasn't bad because of the way Vince probably had envisioned. I mean, they was doomed from the start. Second match of the show, as opposed to first. They did. It wasn't for the Universal Championship; it was for the United States Championship. So, like all the stuff.
Goldberg.
Yeah, so it could have been. I think it would have been better now, just because Kevin Owens has just evolved as a WWE superstar. Like he went in that match. That was
tell a different story.
Yeah, that was his second WrestleMania and his first singles match at WrestleMania. So I think that now he's just like, I mean, he's been in the ring with Austin, right? So that alone, we saw what them two did together. And mind you, Stone Cold hadn't had a match in over a decade, almost 2 decades.
Amazing.
Exactly. So and they did that to lower our expectations, and they still went out there and put up a 5-round belts match, in my opinion, for the story they told. It don't have to be about the collar and elbow, but it was just the story and the way they executed throughout the whole exchange. And I think that now Kevin Owens would do the same thing with a Chris Jericho. I think they would have a much better match now.
No, I agree with you 100%. I don't deny that one bit. But Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano, just to me, must see TV every week. They're always tearing the house down, along with Alpha Academy. And I was laughing because they got a call from Braun Strowman, the monster of all monsters. It's going to he's like they're like rebuilding Strowman every week, right? He's just like slamming and beating and running through people. I'm like, good job, WWE. You got to rebuild your monster. That's your guy. But
do you think WWE have a monster problem?
No, I think WWE is built on monsters. I mean, that's just. I think
like right now, you look at all the big guys. How do you think they have a problem booking them, or you think we witnessing the rebuild and it just takes patience? Because people are saying that they have a monster problem, but I think it's
what's the monster problem? Help me help me understand what that is. Like, what are they alluding to in the first place?
Because you got all these big guys, but what do you do with them, right? You can't. Like, if you put the title on them, how do you get the title off? How So I think because
WCW
you look
has
at
a problem with the Giant.
Yeah, you got Omos, Strowman, Veer, and what's the other guy? What's his name? Shanky, and a couple other people.
Sure, it's kind of he kind of dances now.
There's only like one of them though that you can actually put in a wrestling match though, and get a quality match from.
I mean, could you ever?
Strowman.
But could you ever? Yeah, Strowman maybe. But could you ever really put anybody in a quality match that was big outside of Big Show? Because, like, look at the Giant. They had the same problem with the Giant in WCW in the mid '90s. But see, Kane never had that problem
too.
Kane, but Kane's storyline was enough to keep you like nobody said, "Oh, this big guy can't work." He was so wrapped up in the fact that he was big and Undertaker's brother. He was bigger than the Undertaker. It's like
super athletic too.
He was a main event player off bricks. Like he didn't come down the card until later in his career, but he started off at the top. Like he was working with Austin, Taker, Mankind. Like he was never out of those feuds. He ain't started working with RVD and them dudes and X-Pac and them till later down the line. But Big Show, like you know what I mean? Like what do you like? Same thing with Great Khali, right? You know, he was a guy that they kind of force fed us to, and that didn't work out too well. Like at first it was when he first came in, he was world heavyweight champion, and he couldn't hardly move.
They had to do that though.
You look at Giant Gonzalez from WrestleMania 9, the worst WrestleMania in WrestleMania history.
Oh, come on. It was great.
Yep, I said it. I said it.
11
was bad too. God dang it. I ain't gonna hold you. 11 might be worse than 9. I'm saying that on record in front of Brian Nation in the world. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they have a monster problem. I think they have to describe, like, you even have guys like Commander Aziz. You know, I'm sure he has a different name now. You know, he's a 7-footer, but it's like, well, how do you make him something besides a monster? You gotta give these monsters characters. You gotta give them reason, like Viscera. Viscera was a monster, but he played a different type of monster. He was more of an enforcer, you know. And then eventually he became Big Daddy V, and you know, this the big lover man. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think we got to go back and watch the Monster DVD with like Mark Henry and all them dudes that they made a couple years ago. Brian, you were the king of DVDs, so you still have that DVD.
Yeah. Wait,
okay.
did I get them? I think I got them Giants.
Okay. Look on the cover and we'll maybe dissect it. But
see, that was the problem, man, because that would have been right on the network.
You see? That's why I call Peacock stupid. But
because that was on Netflix first.
I remember that, yeah, because remember they used to put those pay-per-views on, like random pay-per-views on Netflix.
Early days of the Wrestling Wrealm, baby.
There you go. And then the rest of the stuff was maybe on Hulu, like the NXT and you know, all that other stuff. But yeah, you know, we kind of got off topic, which is fine because it's officially midnight, because now we are officially burned in the midnight oil. But ladies and gentlemen, it is investigation time. And of course, we have two to address. Bluetooth is officially connected. There it is. That's the sound you've all been waiting for. Each week, ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Wrealm, we conduct our investigations. First, we have to figure out what is going on with Dexter Lumis and his obsession with The Miz. And then, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, a white rabbit. What is he doing? Where is he going next? And where is this rabbit hole leading us? But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Now, on the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast is the time to explore these things and get to the bottom of whatever's going on in the WWE. It's perfect. You see that?
Man, you just like Maya Angelou. I remember one of our professors. I don't feel like giving a shout out.
Listen, that is extremely high praise. I just got compared to Maya Angelou. Wow.
Because he said that matter of fact, Raj was in that class. Raj, this was me and brother Raj met in you know, I'm called Professor Ball's class. He talked about
you didn't
I didn't have a problem with him, but you know, he was different. But we learned. But he said that Maya Angelou
we learned.
It gave somebody, like, she charged somebody exactly like whatever amount she charged for only 1 hour, right? And he said when it got to like 59 minutes, he looked at the clock and he said when that clock struck an hour, she had just said her last word. So like when you just did that, it was like perfect time. I wonder if Brother Raj remember that story.
I'm sure he does. There it is. Look, you see, I'm not going to repeat it. Moving on, gentlemen. So this past
see, if I put a "the" in before that sentence, it changes the whole thing.
Yep, just big time. Yep, big time. It's just completely different idea. Completely different.
People will see this. They'll see it in the YouTube chat.
Oh my god.
Completely different idea. But gentlemen, The Miz and Dexter Lumis. I just laughed thinking about it. First of all, Dexter Lumis is killing me. But here's one. So first of all, let's just start. I keep laughing at this idea because it's something I think Brother Hugh or somebody, one of you guys mentioned it last couple weeks ago. We first started to investigate Dexter Lumis's obsession with The Miz. Of course, they were in, I believe, Edmonton, Canada. At the Edmonton, they were in front of the Edmonton Oilers, display section of uniforms and mannequins, where The Miz had declared that he had hired a security force to stay sharp and to watch out for he whose name shall not be mentioned, according to The Miz, but we know him as Dexter Lumis. You know, I'll be called Miz Force. I think that's what they call themselves, Miz Force. And he offered an incentive and this incident made me think about. I could have swore it was you, Brother Hugh, that brought this up when he said, "Here's what I'm offering. I'm offering fortune and fame, and potentially a new spot or a new feature in another Marine movie."
No, that was B-Dub.
That was you, Brian H.
That was Brian H.
Brian H. said it then, and I was like, "Well,
look, he's sleeping. You sleeping?
Nah, I was trying to clip,
okay.
but I be hearing y'all twice. I tried to distinguish which one is
about that
live.
time.
That's Brian H's that's his clipping face. That's his clip when he's clipping off social media. Now, when he starts hitting one of these joints, you see it. No, because what I'm saying was, I'm like, yep, he's starting to go. We got to wrap this up soon. But the Miz, he hired the Miz Force to watch after Dexter Lumis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like I said, he mentioned the Marine, and I was like, wait a minute, maybe this has something to do with what Brian H said before, when he was like, well, maybe he's trying to show him that he's gonna audition to be the next lead or villain or something in a Marine movie. And needless to say, the Miz goes off and he sends out his Miz Force to take care of business, and he comes back, and they all seem to have been decimated on the ground waiting. And of course, the man, the Edmonton Oilers mannequin.
Did you see Joey Gargano?
Bruh.
You see Gargano when he was walking out the back?
I was saying,
going to the ring. He was like what?
Wait, what's going on?
Like, what's going on?
He was he was so confused, like, what just happened? Like, what's going on?
Kevin Owens was like, I don't care, whatever.
Whatever, no big deal. And the mannequin comes to life, and Dexter Lumis snatches off the helmet, and he proceeds to beat up the man. He hit him one good time. He hit him in the gut with the hockey stick. He throws off the gloves like he's about to fight. It's the subtle things. He throws off the glove like he's about to fight in a hockey match. He breaks the hockey stick over his back.
Said it best, a hockey match, because that's exactly what happens.
He literally goes like this and like slings. Hold on, I gotta put my title down because he slings the gloves off. Like I said, come on, man. He's keeping a straight face the entire time. And the Miz, he comes to, looks around, and Dexter Lumis is sitting next to him with the crazy eyes, and he chokes him out again. And he starts stroking his face and his hair. What the hey? We've been investigating this stuff for like a month now, and we still can't figure out why the heck Dexter Lumis is obsessed with the Miz.
And it's no new clues whatsoever.
I can't imagine what it is. I'll say this. I'm so glad that once again they have found a way for the superstars to work with young talent and to make them relevant, because Dexter Lumis every week it's turned into a running gag. It was like, well, how is he going to outsmart the Miz now? How is he going to show up? It reminds me of like the episode of Boy Meets World when the brother Eric was like stalking Topanga for some reason, and he was like, his face was in the couch, and she pulled, and like he had like a couch bodysuit on. Like I wish I had the clip. Eric had the couch bodysuit on, so like when she sat down on the couch and she moved the pillow, his face was right there in the couch. And it reminds me of like, dude, this is what Dexter Lumis is going to do every week. He's going to find a new way to disguise himself and pop up on the Miz until we can finally figure out what the heck he wants with the Miz. But do you guys think we're getting any closer to finding out what he actually wants? And do you think this has anything to do with any of these Marine movies? Because the Miz brought up like, hey, listen, if you guys can stop Dexter Lumis, you can, you'll get a spot in one of the new Marine movies. One of the new straight to DVD classics. Are we any closer, gentlemen? Or is this like, okay, here we go again? Dexter Lumis is going to keep stalking the Miz, beating him up, and doing it every week.
He going to school of Roddy Piper. Just when you think you got the answers,
there you go. Change the questions, man.
Because I don't think we get close. I thought we was. I said it. I thought it was the movie, but now, shucks, I don't even know.
I thought
Indy
we were close.
Could be coming up soon.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what
he could be with Bailey for War Games.
Oh, yeah. This is intense. This wrestling has not been this complicated in a long time. But I'm glad that we have a chance to. It says Lumis watched Stanley Weber on Blu-ray. Has been a huge fan of Miz ever since. That's a possibility. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, what if he goes? Like, what if he turns into a serious character and he goes, "Oh, I was just joking, man. I was just trying to get your attention." And he's like regular after that.
that would throw everybody off.
Miz like, you did all that just to keep. He's like, yeah, I figured this. I was method acting. Like I was trying to do what you do. It would be a different look for Dexter Lumis, but who knows? I mean, I think that's funny. But ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say this, but the investigation continues. we I will not rest until I finally know exactly what the heck Dexter Loomis wants with the Miz, but we will get there, ladies and gentlemen. Only time will tell. Stay tuned next week as we continue to dive into this series between the Miz and Dexter Loomis. Thank you for joining us. But we have, look at that. It was like, nah, yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be something crazy? Yep. But like I said last week, as we close one investigation, we start another. Gentlemen.
Hold on, before we get there. World War III, 95, Flair versus Sting. So this is my favorite Flair versus Sting match. And I know people like that one, but they had 3 rings, and Ric Flair really like used all 3 rings because the 3 rings for the main event.
Obviously. That is
It's just like running all 3 rings. Then you got during the match, Colonel Rob Parker, who was in one of the earlier war games with Ric Flair, I think. Him and Sister Sherry, they out on a date to watch the match right here at the Scope in Norfolk. But I had to point that out because this is some good stuff right here. This is WCW that I like.
You know, the crazy part is, though, WCW used to run that Norfolk Scope a lot, bro. I don't know how many times I heard Norfolk Scope when I was watching wrestling last night. Which is Norfolk Scope a lot. I just kept hearing, like, bro, how many times did they run Norfolk Scope Arena? Not to mention that's when DX showed up outside of Norfolk Scope Arena. But
yeah,
remember that?
Story for that after the podcast.
But brothers, we wrap up today's show with another investigation.
And I'm mad they took all the Fiend's music off of all streaming platforms. Remember last week when I was looking for it?
Yeah, I do remember. That's because they're freaking messing with us. Man.
Like, I'm like, this ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. Shout out to Montezi, but that ain't it. But
bruh.
No, we might get canceled for that one. That's White Rabbit. Let me not play that one. They're like, we don't mind you play that wrestling stuff. No, don't use that.
We got another clue, ladies and gentlemen. Bray Wyatt's returned. So we got another QR code. We got another.
I just answered Rob's question. That's all. Rob's question. That's all.
No, you good. Trolling. What y'all think about? Okay, wow. We got another clue. For goodness sake, they're gonna fry our brains. We saw another QR code on the screen. We saw another QR code on the commentaries desk. Did you gentlemen notice these QR codes? Did you guys
part to y'all the group chat?
Okay. Did you guys partake in the QR codes participating?
I didn't. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought it was you. Oh, well, then it was the guy.
Well, it was the guy. This time it was.
Well, we got one QR code. That led to a collage of former WWE clips that kind of that was done by the TikTok account _come with me. And it was a collage of WWE superstars that put together the message, "Who killed the world? You did." With with Kurt Angle and Road Dogg and all these things are just people, right? And then we got another QR code that flashed across the screen that led to coordinates to a big pink bunny. That's right, a big pink bunny.
Real big pink bunny.
A real big pink bunny.
That's right. Easter season.
And then we saw an area code that said 40701. And you say, well, what zip code is that? And it led to Corbin, Kentucky. Right? Are you still confused? Because I am too. It's okay though. We're gonna keep breaking it down. No pun intended, Brian H. So we figure out, okay, so what does this mean? So a lot of people have done different things. A lot of people looked up source code, and in the source code, it had some lyrics to Aleister Black's original WWE music in there, messing with people. But there's a record company in Corbin, Kentucky, 40701 zip code, called White Rabbit Records. Right? And their YouTube account put up minutes after commercial break, and WWE went to on Raw went to commercial break, and they played, of course, White Rabbit, and they played it for the live audience. Lights went red, camera phones out, fireflies everywhere, and they played White Rabbit. And literally minutes after that happened on live TV, a new video surfaced on a YouTube account of White Rabbit Records, and it literally just said 04062. And it was literally a 2-second video, and the title of the video is literally 04062. And it's a zip code that leads to a place called Wyndham.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers, what is Bray Wyatt's real name?
Wyndham.
Wyndham Rotunda.
Yep.
There were other clues. There were other things. But you know what? My brain is like, nope, I can't handle it. It's too much. They are taking us down a rabbit hole for real. Like I couldn't even begin to piece together all the other things that I saw and all the things that were being debunked and all the clues. But I said, what in the world is going on? And I'm at the point now, like, okay, once again, we got new coordinates. Once again, they gave us new coordinates, part of some of these clues, and guess where it leads to? I believe where are they going? What part of Canada? I just said it earlier in the show. Winnipeg. There's more coordinates that lead to Winnipeg. So you know what that means? It's going to lead to another clue. It's probably going to lead to another clue. It's probably going to lead us to Extreme Rules, gentlemen.
Man, what's Scooby-Doo in them?
Brother, if we could get the Scooby-Doo in the Mystery Gang, whatever, and I mean,
Mystery Machine, all that.
This would help our cause so much more, right? But let me ask you a question: are you guys
Scooby-Doo did the Scooby-Doo WrestleMania a few years ago? The DVD,
right? They should call him back. That means they have his phone number.
They do.
Scooby-Doo. Call this cartoon teenager. So let's get to the bottom of this. Let's get to the freaking bottom of this. Are you guys having fun chasing? Are you guys having fun chasing Bray Wyatt down this rabbit hole?
Hey, look, I got a headache, so I took a break after SmackDown. I'm not gonna lie.
SmackDown, man.
Bro,
like I saw
blown. I said, come on, bro.
Hey,
we're not
bro.
about to do this. I said, we not about to do this, man. Y'all messing with me.
I wasn't expecting him to pull up, but it's like, dude, I wanted something more.
They're going to keep messing with us. They're going to keep sending us down this rabbit. Like when they literally said, come with me, feed your head. You didn't feed your head. I'm like, dude, no, this is the problem. You're pulling us deeper into this rabbit hole like Alice in Wonderland. Like we're very, very late for a very important freaking date. And you're like, what in the world? This is something that Vince McMahon would have never had the patience to do something.
Oh, no,
like
he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have.
This is... I've heard a lot of people say that they're having so much fun because it's so interactive and it's so hard. It's like I feel like they've let Bray Wyatt loose. Like this is something he's probably been talked about. When they say when you hear reports of him being unhappy with creative, this is what he's talking about. He probably had concepts and ideas like this a long time ago that he didn't have a chance to execute. But I'm talking about they're getting third parties involved. They're getting TikToks. They're getting actual record labels and places and area codes. And I'm just like, Bray Wyatt is twisted, man, because he's really got us going. Like he is living out. He's playing a character in a movie in real life, and he's like, oh, I got a chance to really do this thing that I would love to have done in a movie, and that's where we are
like
at this point.
Jigsaw or something.
He really is though, and it's
you
like
want to play a game,
and that's exactly what he's doing. So let me ask you this as we wrap up because we're burning the midnight oil. What is the end result? Who is the Fiend after? How will he return? How deep does this rabbit hole actually go?
I tweeted it out earlier, man. The end result is Vince McMahon gonna come from up under the hood talking about it's me. It was me all along. Hey, son. Hey, son, everybody be so mad, man.
Bro, that's perfect.
That's the end result right there. I'm telling you right now.
Brian H., what's going on with the Fiend? Like, what's Bray Wyatt doing? Why is he playing these games with us? Where's this going? How long do we have to wait till we figure out when and where he's going to come back and be who he is that we know him to be? Look, he's on the spot. He's like, "Why are you asking me this, bro? It's late. I don't know where this is going to go." Like, yeah, I know it's late. We got to wrap up.
I can't think of this. I can't get in this dude head, man.
Bro, that's what has. That's what has. Bro, that's why I said I'm not putting all this stuff in the show. Like, bro, I'm not going through all this stuff, man. Like,
shout out to you. You the MVP. I mean, you the MVP, but still, like that was some good work right there. But
I'm not Inspector Gadget. I'm not doing this. Like, this is too much. This is all
that's a full-time job.
He's just having too much fun right now. Yeah, man.
He is messing with us. He is messing with us
because you know what? It's the fans. Because everybody think they're smart, Mark. You know, so between him and Triple H, they put their heads together, and it's like we're gonna put them in their place. Let fans be fans, and going through all this. Like I said, I don't even know, like, who would he be after, right? Randy Orton's sitting at home. That was the last.
It doesn't even matter. That doesn't even matter right now, though.
You right though,
and that's the crazy part. We not even focus on that. We just
want the dude to show up.
That's like, yo, come on, man. It's not doing stuff like giving us coordinates to certain places. Right. A place called Wyndham. Come on, dude. Like doing stuff like, everybody's saying maybe it's Baron Corbin, and literally that Friday, Baron Corbin ends his segment at 9:23. Like, you guys, this is not even like long term. They're like writing as we go. That's how the fans gonna respond. What are they saying? And then they're gonna write something like, no. You guys are becoming too dedicated to your jobs at this point. You're messing with me.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you're going to play off of you're going to bring other storylines into the picture to play off of that one major storyline.
Bro, it's never been done before.
It's crazy. It's crazy, but I love it. The fan interaction is going out the roof right now. Like, with social media,
engagement's got to be on fire. Mr. Social Media Man, Brian H. I can only imagine what the social media engagement probably looks like at this point.
Heck yeah! I mean, shoot, look what it did for us.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. People this is on this level,
all over the place. They trying to figure this out,
bro. I've seen every major media outlet in our field and our community are like putting together clues and debunking and stuff, and it's like, and they know we're doing it, and they're going to say, "Oh, let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep." I feel like everybody has to stop, not care, to say, "Oh, let's just pull the trigger for people lose interest." But it's like people are naturally nosy. People are naturally nosy, and they know it. And they're like, "Yeah, keep digging," and it's like, wow, we actually did. Like, we're sheep for the slaughter at this point, because if we keep going
Bailey
down
called
this
us
route,
sheep.
She did. That's what I'm trying to say. And then Dolph Ziggler, Karrion Kross posted a video of Dolph Ziggler saying he's got the whole world in their hands from a while ago. And I'm like, why is Karrion Kross posting that? Like, what are you doing? Like brother, he said he's got other avenues and other aspects of the show involved in this as well. And it's just like, dude.
and apparently he walked past Bailey and Damage Control while they was doing an interview backstage. Apparently. That's what people are saying.
There was a bag that said Husky. Like, it was a random red bag that said Husky. Everybody knows Husky Harris was Bray Wyatt's first freaking gimmick. Either that or we're driving ourselves crazy. Wouldn't it be crazy if they were just doing stuff to mess with us? Because now at that point, you guys have manipulated us into drawing these straws, and we're making something out of nothing every week because they're just messing with us. Like I can sit there and say, okay, they could have said, no, seriously, that bag was just there by accident. But like, we're so worried. We're like, it says Husky Harris was his first gimmick. It's like, dude, they really got us. They got us flustered.
I mean, they got us flustered, but look how it ended though. Look how it ended for the Fiend. We were left like, what the heck just happened? Like,
nobody knew what the heck happened.
Her face, Alexa, her face was all black, oil,
freaking motor oil came from her forehead.
They both just disappeared, and I literally remember watching it, and it was just like, hold up, what? And then we never saw him again. So it's like, hey, bro.
Listen, man, I haven't had this much. I feel like a kid again. When wrestling does this, when it's not cutting the mustard in a lot of different ways, I can watch my old stuff, but I had moments like this, and I have titles like these that I can say, you know what? I don't have to grow up because I'm a Toys R Us kid. And this is where I'm at. Good brothers, I have got a feeling you're right there with me as well, man. But
yes, sir.
As we wrap up this show, man, please follow us on all social media platforms at Wrestling Wrealm 2W. Subscribe to our Patreon and Twitch and YouTube at the Wrestling Wrealm, Patreon Wrestling_Realm. Gentlemen, any last words before we get out of here?
Nah, man.
Baby. The champ is here.
Oh
That's
yeah, big
it.
time.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Now this can sit on the shelf. I've been
Exactly,
holding this
right.
down. They about to get this flooded on IG now.
Oh, I know. Listen,
This
brother,
man been waiting forever, boy.
just like the TD Jakes book, brother. Thou art loosed. Do your thing, brother. Thou art loosed. Do your thing, man.
He's finna go wild right now. He got about 30 photos already.
I thought he had him on deck already, man.
Right. He's gonna drop them right after this show.
I said Brian H is probably so. By all means, man. Special thanks once again to brother Brandon the guy for these wonderful gifts for us, man. This we're forever appreciative of what you've done for us. Just
Yes, sir, man. It was like Christmas time, man.
It definitely was, man. I don't. Am I tripping? Do y'all look good like this on camera too? Like I keep like, man, this looks nice on camera. Look at that.
It has a little glow to it. Woo!
I'm tripping. Okay.
Plus, you had the ring light and all that, man.
Oh, you already know.
Speaking of ring lights, real quick.
Here we go.
A good friend of ours, or brother Hughes, because he gets on my goddamn nerves because he wear them goddamn Crocs.
Oh, geez.
Jay Bougie.
Don't hate on the Crocs, bro.
Well, ain't no more takeover. My man said, I'm done with takeover.
That's right.
What?
Step out on him, baby.
Yeah, he put down takeover. Turned on him last week.
He said he going dolo.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay. Sorry, PJ Savage. I told you, just like you Yankees, choking in September, brother. And I was leaving it
wow, check us out. That's below the belt. Get it?
I like that. I like it.
That's below the belt, man. But ladies and gentlemen, join us next week as we come back and we will break down Extreme Rules. That's the Extreme Rules show, right, gentlemen? Extreme Rules?
Pre-show.
Pre-show? Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So we'll go down. We'll break down Extreme Rules. We'll get into about how all the matches are special matches, which is pretty cool and pretty fun. I think it'll make it a nice and fun pay-per-view. But ladies and gentlemen, just in case you missed it, Brother Hugh and his yep, that's right. It's there. Soak it in, ladies.
Yeah.
Join us next week.
No. Show it again. Show the abs.
Come on, hold on. Let me put it back on. Bam. Look at that.
Look at the abs. Boy.
Look at that. He's greased up. We need Val Venis music playing right there. It's all good though.
Hold on.
I've been working on them bad boys for a minute.
Because I actually had to use that music the other day.
Wait, Brian H has it.
Hello.
There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Hugh and his new Wrestling Wrealm championship title.
Hey, I bet you don't have that sexual chocolate. That Mark Henry, baby.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We're not done yet. The shenanigans continue. Ladies and gentlemen. Brother Hugh and his new Wrestling Wrealm championship title.
Val Venis.
Hey, my man is in the background crying, baby.
Proud wrestling fan.
Yo, he used to sing that in middle school, though.
Yeah, I showed up there, man.
That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here because we're going to be tripping all night. Join us next week as we come back to talk some Extreme Rules. We will catch you on the flip side. Peace.
Houston, we have a problem.